Hi there and welcome to your yoga class. Today we are doing the Gruffalo's child. That's right, it's the story that comes after the Gruffalo, about the Gruffalo's little child. So we're first of all going to sing our song, so let's pat our knees. And if you don't know the words, just pat your knees, but if you do, please sing along. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Say hello and namaste, time for fun and yoga play. Am I ready? Yes, I am, sitting on my mat. Well done. And now we'll get out our little friend who has a sleep in this bag when he's not watching yoga. And his name is Om, just in case you've forgotten. So after 3, we're going to shout on him. 1, 2, 3. Om. That's a big loud Om. And here he comes out of his bag. Here he is, and he gets so excited when he's going to watch yoga, and he really likes the Gruffalo's child. Yes, the Gruffalo is one of his favourite stories, so he's really looking forward to this. So he's going to sit in his own wee yoga mat just here, and we're going to say our magic yoga word. So let's cross our legs, hands at our heart, and we're going to say namaste after 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Lovely. So let's get started. So you might have read the Gruffalo and the Gruffalo's child, but it doesn't matter if you haven't, because you'll know the story by the end of this anyway. So the Gruffalo, let's do a Gruffalo pose first of all. Okay, I'll show you what a Gruffalo is. You have to stand up with your legs apart, bend over, hold on to your ankles, and you've got to clump like a Gruffalo. Okay, so that's a Gruffalo's pose. And the Gruffalo lives in a cave with his little Gruffalo's child. That's right. So let's come up and put your feet apart again and put your hands up into a point at the top for cave pose. And so one night, the Gruffalo and the Gruffalo's child were sitting talking, and the Gruffalo said that no Gruffalo should ever set foot in the deep dark wood. And the Gruffalo's child says, well, why is that? Well, first of all, we'll do the woods pose. Now, what do we get in woods? We get trees in woods, don't we? So we have to do tree pose. Let's stand up and put your heel across your foot and your hands at your heart in tree pose. Now, if you're really steady, you can put your foot on your calf as well, but make sure your knee's sticking out to the side. So let's do the other foot as well. And put your foot up if you're feeling super steady. That's it. And so the Gruffalo's child's wondering why he can't go into the deep dark wood. And the Gruffalo said, well, that's because the big bad mouse will get you. And the Gruffalo's child said, the big bad mouse? Was he terribly big and terribly bad? We're going to do a big bad mouse pose now. So we're going to stand up, put our legs apart again, but this time we're going to bend our knees and put big claws up like this and do a big bad mouse face. That's it, because the big bad mouse sounds awfully scary, doesn't he? Because the Gruffalo tells the Gruffalo's child exactly what he looks like. The big bad mouse is terribly strong, he says to his little child. So let's do strong pose. Ha! That's it. Show me your muscles. And he's got a tail that's terribly long. So let's stand up, turn around, hands in your hips, feet apart, and wiggle your tails. That's it. And he's got eyes like pools of terrible fire. So let's put your fingers and our thumbs together and put them over our eyes, a bit like binoculars. And he's got horrible wee whiskers that are tougher than wire. So we're going to do whisker pose, okay? You're going to take your hands, turn them like this, so that they're facing away, your wrists are facing away. Put them up as if you've got little whiskers. That's it, on your face. Wonderful. So one night when the Gruffalo's child was bored, he decided to go out for a little walk. That's right. So he went out for a walk. Let's start walking. That's it. Walk, walk, walk into the woods. And it was snowing. That's right. Let's do some snow on the head. But the Gruffalo's child said, although it's dark and although it's snowy, I'm not scared. But the wind was blowing really fast. Let's do wind pose. Legs apart again, hands out to the side, and let's do the wind blew fast and the wind blew wild. That's it. And let's do our snow again. So it's a bit of a snowstorm, but the Gruffalo's child said, I'm not scared. But then all of a sudden he said, aha, oh-ho, a trail in the snow. Oh, I wonder where this trail goes. And a little tail poked out of a log pile house. So let's do a log pile house. We have to sit. Now you can sit with your legs crossed for a log pile, or if you want to, you can put one foot on top of your knee so that your ankle's on top of your knee in a log pile house pose. So try the other side as well. Now you can either just cross your legs the other way or put your other ankle on top of your knee. And it doesn't matter if your knee's sticking up. So I wonder whose tail this is sticking out of the log pile house. Who do you think? That's right, it's Snake. So coming down onto your tummy, hands next to your sides, and we go coming up into snake pose. Lovely. And the Gruffalo's child says, oh, I don't think you're the big bad mouse, are you? And the snake said, no, not I. He's down by the lake eating Gruffalo pie. Gruffalo pie, the Gruffalo's child said. I'm not scared, he said, as the snow fell on his head and he carried on through the woods. So next he said, aha, oh-ho, there's claw marks in the snow. I wonder where these claw marks go, and I wonder if it's the big bad mouse. But all of a sudden, he looked up to the top of a tree. Now, can you remember how to do tree pose? Let's stand up, that's it. Put one heel across, hands at the heart, well done. And let's do the other foot. And two big round eyes stared out at him from the tree. So remember, thumb and forefinger together. Two big eyes. Could these be the eyes of the big bad mouse? Maybe he's found them. So down flew the creature, and his tail was pretty short, and he didn't have whiskers of any real sort. You're not the big bad mouse. And the creature said, Tobo, not I, because it was the owl, wasn't it? Let's do owl pose. So let's sit on our knees, hands at your heart, at your lap, and we're going to breathe in and out with lovely soft owl wings. That's it. No, Tobo, Tobo, not I, but he's somewhere nearby eating Gruffalo pie. That's right. The snow fell fast. Remember the snow on your head? And the wind blew wild. I'm not scared, said the Gruffalo's child. Although I think he might have been, maybe inside, he's covering up quite well. So, next he says, aha, oh-ho, there's some paw marks in the snow, and then he sees some whiskers sticking out of an underground house. Remember how to do whisker pose? Put the back of your hands away from you, turn them round and do some whiskers. Could these be the whiskers of the big bad mouse? But out came the creature, and his eyes weren't fiery, and also his whiskers weren't wiry. You're not the big bad mouse, said the Gruffalo's child. Oh, no, not I, because it's the fox. That's right, let's come into fox pose. On your hands and your knees, put your bottom up in the air. That's it, and wag your foxy tail. That's it. Oh no, I'm not the mouse, not me. He's just over there under a tree having Gruffalo tea. And so the mouse said, oh, it's all a trick. There's no big bad mouse at all. So he sat in a tree stump in a bit of a mood. I don't believe in the big bad mouse. So bring your knees up and cuddle them in. But here comes a little mouse out of his house. So let's come into mouse pose. Let's come on our knees. Put your bottom back to your heels and put your head on the floor and go squeak, 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 squeak. Yeah, he's not the big bad mouse, but a mouse at least, and he'll taste good as a midnight feast. Wait, said the mouse, before you eat, there's someone I'd really like you to meet. If you let me hop on to a hazel twig, I'll beckon my friend so bad and big. So that made the Gruffalo's child have a little think. The big bad mouse, so he does exist. And then the little mouse hopped on to the hazel twig and then he said, just you wait and see. And so out came the moon, big, bright and round, so legs apart, hands out to the side, and a terrible shadow fell onto the ground, and it was a shadow from the mouse. Remember, he jumped up on the hazel twig. So let's do hazel twig pose. We're going to stand with our feet together, arms out, bend our knees, and we're going to twist to the side like a twig, and then twist to the other side. And so the shadow fell on the ground. But who is this creature on the ground that's big, bad and strong? His tail and whiskers are terribly long. Remember how we do the whiskers? Put your hands out, the back of your hands away from you, and do your whiskers. His ears are enormous. Let's give our ears a little rub. And over his shoulder, he carries a nut as big as a boulder. Who do you think that sounds like? The big bad mouse, the Gruffalo child shouted, and he ran off as quickly as he could. So let's do some running. Run, 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 run. And then the little mouse jumped down. So let's jump and come to the ground. And he had a big smile because he's fooled a little Gruffalo's child, hasn't he, making him think he was a big bad mouse. And then the Gruffalo's child, while he was running away, said, aha, oh, footprints in the snow. I'll follow these footprints and see where they go. So he followed them on tiptoes. Let's tiptoe, 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 tiptoe. That's it. So these footprints led back to the Gruffalo's cave. They took him all the way home, didn't they? So let's come up and do the Gruffalo's cave again. Legs apart, hands up. And he tiptoed in next to his big Gruffalo dad, remember? And he snuggled in next to him. And he's feeling a bit less brave. And he's feeling a little bit less bored. And they lay down and snored and snored and snored. So lying down on your back, we're going to think about how the little Gruffalo's child sneaked out, that's right, on the hunt for the big bad mouse. But the little mouse was clever once again, just like he was in the Gruffalo, and managed to fool the Gruffalo's child into thinking he was a big bad mouse because he had a big shadow in the ground, didn't he? So really the Gruffalo's child should have just stayed in a cave with his daddy, all nice and safe and sound. So we're just going to wriggle our fingers and our toes and bend our knees. That's it. Coming up to a nice sitting position with our legs crossed, and we're going to put our hands at our heart and say our magic yoga word again. After 3, we're going to say namaste. 1, 2, 3, namaste. Thank you so much. You were all wonderful. What did Om think of this? I wonder. He really loves the Gruffalo, but he's saying he was a wee bit scared at the big bad mouse bit, but we all know it was just a shadow, wasn't it, Om? It was just a big shadow from the moon, and it taught the Gruffalo's child a bit of a lesson, didn't it? Don't go sneaking about without your mummy and your daddy, that's right. So, Om and I are going to go and have a rest now after all those adventures with the Gruffalo's child, and hopefully you guys can come back soon for another yoga class. And until then, I'll see you soon. Bye.